Hello everyone! Welcome to my tier list. I'm a professional player. So, we're going to be ranking all the characters, and this is a thank you video for 14,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for helping me grow the channel, and this is everyone's reward. So, a bit of history about me. I started playing this game in 2022. I played it as a little kid when it came out, but I sucked. I also sucked at the game in 2022. But 2023, I grinded this game, and I became really good at it. So, yeah, so 2022 I was bad, but now I'm considered one of the best players on Xbox. So, we are going to be ranking all the characters. Tier explanation, let's go for it. We got SS, above all the rest. S, broken. A, fantastic. B, good. C, average. And D, below average. So, I don't think any of the characters in this game are unplayable. I think you could cook with all of them, but there's some stinkers in here. But we're just going to be going in order for class, starting with the Citrons. Alright. And just to let you know, the tiers aren't really going to be ordered here. But we're just going to try to rank them all, but just by what I think. So we're going to start with the regular Citron. Regular Citron is fantastic up close. He isn't as bad at range as people say he is. He's one of the better Citrons at range, but he still does a lot of DPS. And yeah, he's a really solid character, really good character. Put him in A tier. Frozen Citron, I also think is an A tier. This character is one of the best counters. He's the best mech counter in the game. He's the best superhero counter in the game. He's also the best all-star counter in the game. So he's really good against high health characters. We got Frozen Citron right here. This character is broken. Really, really good. He's also might be the best Citron at range, arguably. Alright, next Citron, we got Electro Citron. I'm going to put him in either... I think he's A tier as well, honestly. He's pretty similar to Frozen Citron. The only problem is his projectiles are very finicky, but he does a lot of damage, but he relies on his charges, and he can struggle sometimes, but he's still a really good character. All the Citrons are going to be pretty close to each other, which you're going to notice, except for Toxic Citron. This character is not very good. I have gotten 100 kills with him before, with almost every character I have, but Toxic Citron barely does any damage. He could cook sometimes in certain lobbies. He could be pretty good, but the character is bad for damage. It feels like you're hitting someone with a wet paper towel when you're playing as him, so he struggles a bit. But he still can cook. He has good abilities, like all the Citrons do. Party Citron, I'm going to put Party Citron in the S tier. Take everything good about regular Citron, how easy it is to get kills with him, and put it on a character with a legendary meter that can get filled off of shares. That's insane. That's broken. S tier. The final Citron is Iron Citron, who I think is the best Citron. Also S tier. He arguably has the best legendary mode in the entire game. He has an insane health pool of 250. And he's just a really good character. Iron Citron is the final Citron. He's going to be an S tier. Great character. Citron class as a whole is pretty good, other than Toxic Citron. Honestly, Toxic Citron might be a C tier. He might be a little bit more playable than some of the other D tiers, but we'll see. Alright, let's start with zombies next. We're going to be talking about the imps next. So let's find Reg Imp on here. Here he is. Alright, Reg Imp I think is an A tier as well. Regular Imp does 100 DPS. He doesn't have a meter like Party Imp, but his mech does last longer than Party Imp, and he's overall a really solid and good character. Does really good damage, and it has all the strengths an Imp has. His primary does have a lot of recoil, but he's a really good character. Reg Imp is a good pick. Alright, next Imp we're going to be talking about is Little Drake. I'm going to put Little Drake in the B tier. He's really good, but his mech is only usable up close, which we all know. His mech does have 400 health, which is good, and his regular Little Drake's primary is pretty good at range, as it has fire damage. It could be good to chip off people, but I think the character's DPS isn't high enough to be compared to Reg Imp, but he's still a great pick. He's a good character. The next Imp we're going to be talking about is the Pylon Imp, who I also think is an A tier character. The Pylon Imp has a really good primary, which you could pretty much kill anything in like 2 bursts if you get a share off of it. Really fast kill times, has a huge ammo pool, good reload. He has the second or third best mech out of all the imps. Both of the abilities on the mech are good. Character's fantastic. Really good pick. Him and Reg Imp are like right next to each other. The next imp we're going to be talking about is Shrimp, and I think Shrimp is our first imp we're going to be putting in S tier. Shrimp is broken. Outside of the mech, he's fantastic. His primary has like no recoil. It's good at all ranges. It's very similar to a soldier. Shrimp is just a good character, and he has the best mech in the game. The Shrimp mech might be the best playable thing in the entire game. It is that good. Shrimp is a broken character, very valuable being an S tier. The next imp we're going to be talking about is the Party Imp, who I also think is in maybe the top of A tier. And hear me out. Party Imp is really good. I'm going to put him in S tier. Party Imp is really good because he has everything the regular imp has, except he has more ammo, and then he has a meter. It's really easy to fill up his legendary meter. You only need 5 kills, and he also has a mech that can do more damage than Reg Imp. Party Imp's mech, I think, has the highest DPS in the entire game, other than Little Drake's like mech with trigger spamming, I'm pretty sure. Party Imp is a fantastic character. The only problem with him is that his mech does not last long at all. Other than that, he is a good character. The final imp is Z7, and I think Z7 with an auto clicker is probably the best zombie in the entire game. The only problem with him is that he dies to fire damage really easily, which is a problem with all the imps because they have a low health pool. But if you have an auto clicker or a good trigger finger, Z7 is the best zombie in the game, and there's no question asked. Either Z7 or the astronaut is the best zombie in the game, in my opinion. I think this character is ridiculous. He does so much damage. He's good at all ranges. He's just a really good character. Alright, let's move back to the plants. We're going to be talking about the roses next. Regular rose, I'm going to put in either, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to start with B tier. Let's talk about roses a little bit. Roses do not have any mobility. They have probably the worst mobility in the entire game. They have one escape option with Enigma and Lotus, but that's it. You're not going to be getting any places. The character has a high jump and good speed, but that's it. You have barely any good options to hide besides Enigma, like I said, and the character just kind of is flawed on a lot of the maps. Other than Moonbase, I feel like Moonbase was designed to be played for roses. Regular Rose, though, this character in particular, is a good character. Character has a really good DPS. It's also not bad up close because if you take advantage of the splash damage, which a lot of people don't know roses have, character's good up close. Reg Rose can really destroy a lot of characters like imps and scientists, and it's just a good pick. Highly recommend that character. Frost Rose, I'm going to be putting in A tier. I think Frost Rose is better than Reg Rose. Frost Rose has the charge shots, obviously. Does 50 damage for a full charge and ice damage. Is the best Rose from range. You don't even need the homing with this character because the projectile speed is that good. Character's also really good up close. Makes a great counter to mechs and imps and stuff. Only problem is scientists can be kind of a problem for this character, but even then, if you get rid of their heal station, you could kill this character. You kill scientists in like 2 charge shots. Frost Rose is a good character. Next character is the Druid Rose. We're going to be putting Druid Rose in the C tier. The character has like the slowest projectile speed in the entire game, which sucks. Character also sometimes even needs to rely on Arcane Enigma to get kills, which is like really sad. That's how you know a character isn't very good. But the character can cook a little bit, has good group control with toxic damage. You know, that's really all. I'm trying to throw a couple bones at Druid Rose, but character is kind of bad. But still is playable. I got over 100 with the character on Moonbase because Moonbase roses are broken. I'm going to put the Party Rose right next to Druid Rose. I think Party Rose is better than Druid Rose. Party Rose's legendary meter is pretty good, but Party Rose overall is a downgrade to the regular Rose. Character still is good, has all the strengths Reg Rose has, but Party Rose, yeah, just kind of a downgrade to the regular Rose. Neck Rose is our next character. We're going to be putting Neck Rose in the A tier. Neck Rose is one of the characters that could single-handedly make a lobby a lot more challenging to play in. The Jinx effect is probably it might be the best status effect in the game to have on you because it's just so broken. It makes everything do like double damage. It charges up almost instantly. Character's really good. Only problem is the character has a lot of hit registration issues, which I don't see on any other character in the game. I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I do an attack on someone and nothing happens. So that's a problem with Neck Rose in my opinion. Fire Rose is next. We're going to be putting Fire Rose in the B tier. Actually, I'm going to put Fire Rose in A tier. Fire Rose is another character very similar to Frost Rose and Neck Rose. 50 damage per charge, has a huge splash radius, doesn't really need homing with that splash radius, by the way. Really good against imps. Forgot to rank Scallywag Imp, so we're going to put him on the tier list now. I think this character is probably A tier as well. Character has a bad mech, but outside of the mech, he's pretty busted. His meter is really easy to fill up, and he does a ton of damage. He's pretty much like a similar character to Pylon Imp outside of the mech, but other than that, his mech is kind of awful in my opinion. And the character is just decent. He's still an A tier, but he's a good pick. Next character and class we're going to be ranking is none other than the superhero class. Superheroes are a really good character in the game. They have some of the best mobility, best access to mobility since their kicks charge almost instantly, and they also have 200 health and a pretty decent ability kit. I think that the regular superhero is an A tier character. Regular superhero has a fantastic beam, probably the best beam out of the entire class. It does a ton of damage, and the character with his punches is also really good. Really solid pick, just a great character. The next character we're going to be ranking is Electro Brains, and this is actually my main character. I don't play him as much as I used to, but this is the character I have the most hours on. Out of any character in the entire game, it's Electro Brains. I think Electro Brains is a B tier character. Character is like a nerfed version of regular Brains, but his beam is arguably better. It has chain damage, but it doesn't do that much. It only does 3 damage per chain. But the character is still pretty good. His punches do a lot of damage, but it takes a while to get the full combo going. Like I said, he's pretty much a nerfed version of Reg Brains, but he's still a solid pick. Which is what I can't say about Breakfast Brains. This character sucks. I think Breakfast Brains is the worst zombie in the game. He still has all the strengths that a superhero has. He still has a great ability kit. He still has really good mobility, but his punches take a long time to charge up. When they get charged up, sure, he could work a little bit. You could get kills with him. It's not hard. It's not impossible, but the character is just a big downgrade from the regular superhero. But when a character that's meant to be up close needs to charge up his weapons, then it takes a really long time, and you can't charge it in the air or anything. Keep that in mind. It sucks. You want to be able to get in, kill someone quickly, and get out, which is what regular superhero can do and what Breakfast Brains can't. Breakfast Brains is just not a very good character, but to give him a couple strengths, he does have good speed. He has the best speed out of any of the superheroes, which is cool. But other than that, like, that's really all I could give him. Next, we're going to talk about Toxic Brains. I think Toxic Brains is also an S tier. This character is broken. He fills up his meter so quickly, absolutely insane. His beam, when you have meter, does over 100 DPS, same with his punches. The only problem with him is that he gets hard countered by Godify on the Roses, and he also gets hard countered by Chompers, which all those superheroes do. All you gotta do is just goop a superhero, and then the superhero is going to die. But Toxic Brains, if you're in a lobby full of Sunflowers, Pea Shooters, nothing you could do against Toxic Brains. He's unstoppable. One of the best characters to capture with as well. Party Brains, I'm going to put Party Brains in A tier. I think this character is fantastic. But I don't really think he's that much better than regular superhero. And the reason I'm saying that is because regular superhero already has really good kill times with his punches, and Party Brains has better kill times with his punches, but his beam is worse than regular superhero. And there's not really too much strength besides the damage reduction and the extra speed that the meter gives you. I'm not gonna lie. He doesn't seem as much. His legendary meter isn't that important, but he's still a fantastic character, which is why he's an A tier. But I don't think he's an S tier. I don't think he has anything that puts him out of the A tier that these characters have. Party Citron, the meter benefits him a lot more because the speed is really good for Citrons. Superheroes already have good speed. That's all I'm trying to say. And Party Brains' beam is worse than regular Brains when Party Citron is just a direct upgrade to the regular Citron. So that's why I'm putting Party Brains in A tier. Alright, let's talk about plants next. Let's talk about the corns. So, regular corn. Let's talk about the corn class as a whole. Really good ability set. Has good escape options, has really good kill options. Butter is insane, Huskop's insane, and Shuckshot is insane. Really good. Character also has 150 health, which is fantastic. With health upgrade, you have 160, which most corns you want to be running health upgrade in my opinion. So yeah, really good. Regular corn, we're going to put in S tier. This character does 100 DPS, really good accuracy, great ability set, like I said, just a phenomenal character, worthy of being in S tier. The next character we're going to be ranking is Barbecue Corn. I think Barbecue Corn is an A tier character. Similar to Necros, this character can single-handedly ruin a lobby. He makes imps feel unplayable. This character has a fast fire rate and fire damage. That's crazy. He has a good reload as well. Character has perfect accuracy and fire damage and a fast fire rate. That's a disaster and a good ability set. Character is a counter to so many things. He's so good for targeting people. This character is insanely good. A tier. This is the most annoying character in the game, in my opinion. I hate fighting him. Mob Cobb. Mob Cobb is also an A tier, in my opinion. He has all the strengths that regular Corn has, but he's just a slightly nerfed version of him. But he's still a good pick. Popscorn is also going to be going in the A tier. Popscorn has some of the best accuracy in the entire game, but he does have some of the worst drop-off, which kind of sucks. But the character is still a good pick. I think he belongs in A tier. Corns as a whole are just a really good class. Party Corn is in S tier. He's like Red Corn, but he does have less ammo, but he does have the legendary meter, which is really nice. Legendary meter is really good on a Corn in particular because it's so easy to get kills with Corn to the point where it's broken. It's insane. It's so easy to get kills with Party Corn. Fill up that meter. You're going to be filling up the meter so many times throughout a match. Really good character. Commando Corn. This character is also really good, but I'm going to stick him in A tier. His legendary meter is insane. He has more ammo, and then he gets damage reduction and speed, which is really nice. Outside of it, he's also really good, but I do think he's still worse than the regular Corn. He might belong in S tier, but for now, I'm going to keep him at the tippy top of A tier. Again, these tiers are not ordered. I'm just ordering them by the classes. But yeah, the Commando Corn is a fantastic character. Really, really good. Let's talk about zombies next. We're going to be talking about the pirates. Our first pirate, let's talk about the pirate class actually. Pirates have a bad ability set, which I think is not entirely true, because the barrel is a really good ability, and the drone is also a good ability. Cannon Rodeo isn't a very good ability, but it can be useful to get rid of chompers. That's really it. On some of the bad pirates, it can be useful as well. But the first pirate, or first character we're going to be talking about is the regular pirate, which I think is an S tier. This character is broken. He does 30 damage a shot, has like no drop off. His shotgun is better than some of the scientists in the game, which is supposed to be a shotgun class, which is really silly. This character is really good. This is one of my main characters I like to play as. I love playing as regular pirate. Such a broken character and so fun. Another pirate we're going to be putting in S tier is Captain Cannon. He's so good. He might even belong in the SS tier. Honestly, hold on. We're adding a new row. Hold on. We're going to make an SSS tier. Cannon is an Cannon's an SS tier, but there's a reason I have an SSS tier. Cannon is broken. He has a really, really good group control. Probably the best group control out of any zombie in the game. He's really good he counters roses, he counters sunflowers. Character just really, really good. There's nothing else really to be said. The only problem with him is that his shotgun is kind of bad, but even then, like, it's not that bad. Character is really good, though. Captain Flameface is our next character. We're going to put him in A tier. Captain Flameface is basically just a nerfed version of regular pirate, but he has fire damage. If you use the shotgun and the sniper at the same time, he does do double fire damage, which is kind of insane. Character also has a good reload, and he also has the fire damage, which is just a broken mechanic in this game. Really good. But yeah, Captain Flameface is a solid A tier in my opinion. Captain Sharkbite is also an A tier in my opinion. He has a better zoom out of regular pirate, which is a cool gimmick he has. He also has really good projectile velocity, like almost like hit scan. Really good. I love playing as Captain Sharkbite, but I can't deny that his fire rate is worse than regular pirate, which kind of puts him here. His shotgun also only consumes 1 ammo, which is nice, but I'm gonna keep him in A tier. He's just a nerfed version of regular pirate. He's very close to being S tier. Character is really, really good. Captain Sharkbite is a fantastic pick. Captain Partyman, we're gonna put him in B tier. I used to think this character was horrible, but I think I was just salty that every time I would play this character, I would get 98, 99, or 96 kills. You could ask my friends. It took me so long to get 100 with this character, but one day I finally did it. I was so excited. Anyway, this character, he's a nerfed version of Reg Pirate. He has less ammo. He does less damage. You have to waste more upgrade slots on him, which is bad. His legendary meter makes him better than Reg Pirate. So with this, like, hear me out. The character is not F tier because when he has his legendary meter, he becomes a top tier. But when you become a top tier and a mid tier, like I don't know. I just think he balances out to be a B tier. Character is good. If you have a hover goat with him, busted. Absolutely busted character. His shotgun with the legendary meter is insane. But other than that, the character is just a good character. But I don't think he's in the A tier. Final pirate we're going to be talking about is Captain Squawk. Character, I think, is also B tier. I think he's kind of underrated. He has fantastic range, and his shotgun does a surprising amount of DPS. You could trigger spam with it. But the character does have accuracy issues. He has horrible bloom, bad accuracy, but if you could get used to that, he's a really solid pick, and he has pretty good kill times, but he's definitely a nerfed version of all the other pirates. But yeah, worst pirate in my opinion, but he's still a B tier, good character. The next class we're going to be talking about is the pea shooters, the most famous class in the game. The pea shooters we're going to be starting with is regular pea shooter. Regular pea shooter is an S tier. Character does an insane amount of damage. He's a really good reload. Has splash, which isn't very useful, but splash is only good for hitting people that are hiding behind corners. Don't use splash otherwise. Go for direct or body hits, please. I don't know why people use splash as a factor to debate how good a character is. Use it only when people are hiding behind corners. Anyway, side tangent aside. Reg P has really good damage. He's just a fantastic character. Very beginner friendly. But he's still a good character, but the only reason he's not like SSS tier is because the other P shooters are just that broken. So yeah. Anyway, Fire P. We're gonna be putting Fire P in A tier. He has all the strengths regular P shooter has, but he has fire damage, which is a great counter to imps. So Fire P is an A tier. Again, P shooters are just a busted class in my opinion, so really good character. So fire damage is also a broken mechanic, so yeah. But if you have good aim, fire characters are outclassed by the regular variants most of the time because fire characters are kind of for people that can't really aim that well, in my opinion. Anyway, Ice P is our next character. I think Ice P is going to be also an A tier. Ice P has ice damage and really good freeze times. If you combine his free times with the Dark Bean Bomb, it could be kind of busted. But again, why would you play Ice P when you have the other OPPs? He's a good towards superheroes and mechs, though. That's all I could really give him. He could be really devastating in one-on-ones, but he's just kind of outclassed. But he's still an A tier because all P shooters are broken. Toxic P, again, is just a nerfed version of regular P shooter. Really, really good character, nonetheless. Surprisingly, kind of insane if you have a height advantage with Toxic P. He's just a great character. A tier. All P shooters are broken. There's nothing else really to say. Commando P. Character is also really good. If you barrel stuff in someone's face with this character, you're going to kill them. Character has really good his primary pairs really good with his mobility. and his DPS is surprisingly good. Only problem with this character, which is why I'm putting him here below Fire P, is because his primary has some of the worst drop-off in the entire game. He's not very good at range. He's usable at range, but he's not very good at range. Agent P is going to be our first triple S tier. Agent P might be the best character in the entire game. He has some of the highest DPS. He's insane from range. He's very easy to play as. I'm not going to factor in how easy a character is to play on this tier list, but this character, man, he's a little overtuned. But he does have less health than other P shooters, but even then, he just like slices everything he walks into in half. He's that good. Really good character. Law P is also triple S tier. Character is really, really good. Actually, I'm going to put him in SS tier because he doesn't do as much DPS as Agent P and he has less ammo in his clip, but he has some of the fastest kill times in the entire game, so probably SSS tier. But he's definitely a little bit more challenging to get good with, but Law P is my favorite P shooter to play as. He might be my favorite plant to play as. I love this character. But I still think Agent P is a better character. Plasma P is also triple S tier. This character is so good. He feels almost uncounterable sometimes. Uncharged shots, broken. Charged shots, broken. Character does so much damage. You could spam with him and use the uncharged shots. Charged shots are good. Character is just insane. Plasma P is broken. Rock P, I'm also going to be putting in the A tier. A lot of people really like to crap on this character, which I don't really know why. The character is not that bad. He's still a P shooter. He's just a nerfed version of Reg P shooter with a couple of accuracy issues, but more health. So with P Gatling, pretty broken. He also doesn't have that bad damage, and no P shooter is below A tier. The class is that broken. They have insane mobility. P shooters are so good. So yeah, that's why I'm putting Rocky there. EP is our next SSS tier. EP has the best group control in the entire game. He has the best movement in the entire game. He has chain damage that helps out a lot. But yeah, and he's also a detonation character. Only problem is, from range, he's not as good, which is why I think Agent P is overall better. But EP and Agent P are like, depending on the scenario, you could switch them around. But I think Agent P is the best character in the game, in my opinion. The next class we're going to be talking about is the Soldier class. Soldiers are insane. Soldiers are so good. In fact, I think Reg Soldier belongs in the SS tier. Reg Soldier has a really good primary from all ranges. You could be up close or far away. You're going to kill people. He's just a very versatile character. He might be better than Cannon. He might be better than Cannon. I don't know. These characters are all broken, so it's hard to rank them. But that's why I'm not ranking them by the class, because it's scenario dependent. Super Commando is also SS tier. Take Soldier, but he has infinite ammo, has really good accuracy. You don't have to worry about reloading ever. And he's just a really solid pick. Has insane kill times. Really, really good. The Camo Ranger is also an SS tier. I like where's Sky Trooper? These 4 soldiers I consider to be like the 4 like broken soldiers. Similar to the OPPs, there's 4 OP soldiers. These 4 are insane. Sky Trooper has 100 DPS up close. He does have a slower projectile speed than regular soldier, but he still is absolutely insane. I love playing as this character. Camo Ranger has a bad reload and doesn't have a damage upgrade, but his primary is so good both up close and far away, I think he belongs in the SS tier. He has everything you want in a character. So versatile, good against all classes in the game. His abilities pair really well. It's just perfect. Arctic Trooper we're going to be putting in A tier. The reason for that is I think Arctic Trooper, he has all the strengths that the Reg Soldier has with the ice damage, and he's absolutely insane in 1v1, similar to the Frozen Citron, who's also in the A tier. Fantastic pick, by the way. Fantastic. And this character, the only problem is his damage is a little low. He does a way less damage than the regular soldier, but he's really good at countering the higher health plants in the game. He's the best character to do that. Oh, where did he go? Oh, there he is. But yeah, Arctic Trooper, nonetheless, is an A tier character. Really, really good. Tank Commander is also an A tier character. Soldiers are really good, but I think Tank Commander is one of the bad soldiers. Honestly, I might put him in here, but he's still good. He has really good kill times. I have a bias against his character. I really don't like him, but he's a cool character. He has good kill times, does a lot of damage. That's all you really want. And we're going to be putting his brother Scuba Soldier right above him because Scuba Soldier has everything that Tank Commander has, but is better. Better from range, better reticle, better kill times. Actually, I don't know about better kill times, but better damage. Just a better character. Scuba is just a direct upgrade to Tank Commander. Both are good characters, though, nonetheless. General Supremo is also going to be in the A tier. He has the fastest fire rate out of the entire soldier class, but when you shoot with him, he can't move, which kind of sucks. But the character is still really good, which is why, again, he's an A tier. He has all the strengths the Reg Soldier has, but slightly nerfed. He could fire for longer than the Reg Soldier can, which is cool, but I think the movement nerf is just really bad. If he had insane movement, honestly, he would be like up here, but that really holds him back. His movement being like bad whenever he shoots, which sucks. Centurion, I think, is also an A tier. He's Camo Ranger, but with fire damage, which is, again, which we talked about with like characters like Fire Pea, Barbecue Corn, Captain Flameface. Fire damage is really good against lower health characters. Centurion's a really good counter to some of the OPPs, actually. Especially characters like Agent P. Centurion can absolutely slay. He's broken. Why did I say slay? I'm so sorry. Anyway, Centurion is a great character. Very versatile, good from all ranges. I'm gonna put him here. Put him here. I think Centurion's really good. The soldiers are kind of hard to rank. You could scramble any of these around. I think it's just scenario dependent. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna put that. Last soldier is gonna be the Park Ranger. He's gonna be our only soldier in the B tier. Again, he's just kind of bad because he has the problem that Toxicitron has with the cloud damage being bad. Except he doesn't even have toxic damage. Park Ranger doesn't. But he still has all the strengths a soldier has with good mobility. Again, good movement. And he also has really good DPS against some of the fatter characters in the game because they're going to be getting hit by the cloud damage hitbox more. So he's good against, like, if you barrel stuff with him against a Cacti or a Torchwood, you could do like hundreds of DPS, which is pretty insane. But other than that, like, Park Ranger is just a nerfed version of the Reg Soldier, and I mean a heavily nerfed. You're going from an SS tier to a B tier. Character's primary is just not good, but you could still cook with him. I actually really like playing as Park Ranger.
Let's talk about Chompers. This is a really hard one to talk about because the Chompers can be really good counters to some of the high health characters in the game, but they get heavily outclassed by almost every zombie in the game. Chompers have one big problem. They have no way to get up to a vertical. They have no vertical mobility, which is a big advantage you could have in this game, which is why characters like Citrons, Pea Shooters, Soldiers, Imps are so good. But the only other characters, if you haven't noticed, that are up here that don't have good vertical mobility have such broken primaries like Cannon and Reg Pirate that it doesn't matter they don't have good vertical mobility because their primaries are broken. But Chompers, they don't have any vertical mobility, and some of the Chompers don't have any horizontal mobility either. But when you get in with them, they could destroy you, which is why they're not horrible and why I think there's no F tiers in this game. But Reg Chomper is going to be getting put in the D tier. This character doesn't have any of the benefits or gimmicks that any of the other Chomper has. You could still eat people and destroy them with Reg Chomper, and he can be good against superheroes and stuff. But like, you're not going to be doing anything special with him. He does have a good health pool as well. 175 is good. But he just doesn't have anything that the other Chompers don't have. Fire Chomper we're going to be putting in the B tier, who I think is one of the better Chompers. Actually, I'm going to put him in the C tier. No, B tier. Honestly. Hear me out here. If you have an auto clicker, or if you have a really good trigger finger, Fire Chomper has some of the best DPS in the entire game. He can absolutely destroy imps, scientists, and he has fire damage too. 175 health with a primary like that is insane. He's very similar to characters like Rhodey Z. Really, really good, and combining that with Goop Stun, he's a good character. He's one of the better Chompers. Toxic Chomper is pretty much a clone character of Fire Chomper, so they're going to be right next to each other. Power Chomper is going to go in C tier. He has really bad hitbox issues. If someone's being healed, he doesn't do any damage, which sucks, so he's useless against scientists. But he could still cook a little bit. He does 11 damage per shot, which is really good actually. But again, hitbox issues and not being able to hurt scientists kind of sucks. Hot Rod Chomper is going to be in the C tier. I think he's better than the Reg Chomper because his speed is really good. You could sneak up on people easily. But other than that, he kind of sucks. He has only 125 health, which is the lowest out of all the Chompers. But he still has really good speed and movement, which is why I think he's in the C tier and not the D tier. Mount Chompula, I'm going to be putting in the D tier. Actually C tier. His gimmick isn't as bad. His gimmick isn't bad. It works, but the character has less health than regular Chomper, so I'm going to put him in the bottom of C tier. But regular Chomper, I think it just has nothing going for him. Armor Chomper is going to go in the C tier. Huge health pool, has really bad mobility, but when you get in with him, he does a ton of damage. So I'm going to put him below Power Chomper and below Hot Rod, but he's going to go right here. He has a really good primary, actually. Armor Chomper does 50 damage per shot. He destroys imps and scientists. He wins scientist matchups. He's pretty decent. You could also tank superheroes pretty easily with him, and you win the superhero matchup most of the time. So that's cool, but again, the character is so slow to the point where it's just like, yeah, that's not very good. He's an average. Chomp Thing I'm also going to put in the B tier. Character has insane regeneration, like absolutely insane. Best in the entire game. He also has a good primary as well. Does a lot of damage. But he's not going any higher than the B tier because he doesn't have a warp, 1. And 2, he doesn't do fire damage like Fire Chomper does, so he's not a Fire Chomper. Also, Fire Chomper has more health and does more damage than Chomp Thing. But Chomp Thing is still a good Chomper, one of the better ones. Yeti Chomper, I'm going to put in the C tier. This character is like really odd to me. He can work sometimes, but yeah, he kind of sucks. Honestly, putting him in the D tier. Either D or C tier. I'll put him in the bottom of C, I guess. He's better than the regular Chomper. His ice gimmick doesn't really work with the Chomper class. His range can be useful sometimes, I guess, but like any other character has a better primary than him. But he does still have a lot of health, and he still can eat people, and he does more stuff. He could do more than Reg Chomper, so I guess he goes here, but not very good. Disco Chomper, he's still a good character. He's average like all the other C tiers. When he has legendary mode, he would be like up here, honestly. Reg Chomper, the Disco Chomper with the legendary mode is broken. But you're not going to be getting that mode that often. The character can cook a little bit, but the only reason he's here and not here is just because of the legendary mode. If he didn't have a legendary mode, he would be here. He would have nothing going for him. But since he has the legendary mode, he's in C tier. You're lucky you have the legendary mode, Disco Chomper. We're going to be putting the Unicorn Chomper in A tier along with Twilight Chomper in A tier. I think the warp makes Unicorn Chomper much better. Bottom of A tier, I suppose. Really good counter to superheroes. The warp is really good, but he is also a clone character of Reg Chomper. That shows how broken a warp is compared to Burrow. Warp puts you 2 tiers above D tier. Or, yeah, 1, 2, 3. 3 tiers, sorry. Really good. The warp is so broken. It's one of the best mobility options in the game. You could sneak up on people so easily and kill them. He also has full invincibility on his warp, so he's the second best Chomper. Twilight Chomper has the speed that Hot Rod Chomper has and the warp that Unicorn Chomper has, and it makes him the best counter to superheroes. Unless the superhero jumps on a roof, then you can't really do much, but Twilight Chomper's chomps also do a ton of damage. Chomping is good, speed is good, warp is broken. So, A tier. Alright, there was a lot of Chompers, so let's talk about a new class now. Engineers. Regular Engineer is an A tier character. Regular Engineer, really, really good. Engineer as a whole have a great ability set. The only problem is they don't have good vertical mobility. But other than that, engineers are a really solid class. But engineers are not going any higher than the A tier. Regular engineer has a really good primary and good splash, but he does have a range limit, so you can't shoot from all ranges with him. After a while, the projectiles will explode mid-air. You can use that to your advantage, believe it or not, but it's still a disadvantage in my opinion. That the sanitation expert doesn't have, which makes him a complete upgrade to the regular engineer in my opinion. But regular engineer is still a solid character. Sanitation expert is pretty much just a better version of the reg engineer. Electrician is going in C tier. I think electrician is I'm putting him above the chompers though. Again, these tiers are not ordered at all. I'm only putting the classes in each tier, so please keep that in mind. Electrician is a C tier character though. He has horrible damage, a horrible reload. People say his splash is good. It's not. It does like 10 damage. The character can still cook a little bit. He's still an average character, but I really do not think this character is very good. I think he's probably the worst engineer. Maybe AC Perry is worse than him. I don't know. Honestly, AC Perry has more going for him than Electrician in my opinion. AC Perry still has freezing and a stun, which is nice to have. He could be decent compared to killing like high health plants in the game. But he kind of feels like Toxic Citron, where he doesn't do enough damage, it feels like. But AC Perry is still average. Like he's not like awful like these characters, but he's still like okay. Fire and a stun puts you in B tier or A tier, honestly. Character has a stun and fire damage. Painter. He's literally a clone of Reg Engineer with fire damage and a stun, so that's why he's in there. Painter is an A tier, in my opinion. I think Painter might be the third best engineer. Insane at range. He's similar to a Cactus or a Deadbeard, but he has the same accuracy problem that Rock P has, which is really silly, but Painter does have a little bit of an accuracy issue. But other than that, the character can cook. He does an insane amount of damage. Really fun character. I just gotta say, really fun. I really like him. But he does 45 damage per hit. He has a pretty good fire rate, and he overall is just a really solid pick. Very versatile. Play Painter. More people need to play Painter. He's a good character. Mechanic is gonna be going in S tier. Maybe even SS tier. Let me think about it. Yep, Mechanic is going in SS tier. I need to remake. I'm gonna fix the tier list at the end. Don't worry. Mechanic is going in SS tier. This character is so good. He has a stun. He has 100 DPS. He has the primary of Sky Trooper and Reg Soldier. That's insane. He has the DPS of Sky Trooper, but the primary of Reg Soldier. That's really good. Character has a good ability set. Only problem is he doesn't have vertical mobility. He's similar to the Corn. Imagine Corn with a stun. So he's going a little bit here, honestly. But Mechanic does have a couple problems with his mobility, but other than that, really, really good character. S tier for sure. Plumber. I think Plumber is better than Reg Engineer. I'm not gonna lie. Plumber does a lot of damage for splash, so if people try to hide behind corners, you're gonna kill them with Plumber. But other than that, he's pretty much a clone character of Reg Engineer, so I still think Sanitation is better than Plumber, but Plumber and Reg Engineer are like kind of broken and no one really talks about it. Landscaper, I'm gonna put in A tier as well. He has a lot of range issues. His projectiles do not go far at all. But he does do a lot of DPS, so he's still an A tier. But Landscaper is he's just a solid character. Play Landscaper, he's good. Roadie Z is going to be going, that is not Roadie Z. Roadie Z is going to be going in S tier as well. Roadie Z has one of the most devastating primaries in the entire game. Hundreds of DPS, a stun, can shoot you through the wall.
Like, there's just so much about this character, but he is a little flawed at range. Like, he can't do anything. He's defenseless at range, but he still has such a good primary where I think he belongs in S tier. He's very similar to Toxic Brains, in my opinion. Alright. The next character class we're going to be talking about is the Sunflowers. Sunflowers are broken. They're some of the best killers in the entire game, but they also can heal themselves and are good at all ranges. So Sunflowers are cracked, in my opinion. Regular Sunflower, I'm putting in S tier. Character has like 50 ammo. There's like 11 damage or 12 damage per shot. Good fire rate. Imagine Corn, but you could heal yourself. And then Solar Flare Beam. I could go on and on about that ability. Sunflowers are broken. Broken. Absolutely broken. Fire Flower is going to be going in A tier. Is Barbecue Corn, but you could heal yourself. Yeah, honestly, S tier. Fire Flower is broken. Sunflowers are so broken for no reason. Power Flower is going to go in A tier. Character has some of the best chain arc damage in the entire game. Like, really good. That tied with the fire rate is insane. Again, these tiers are not ordered. Please don't think Power Flower is the best A tier in the game and Landscaper is the worst A tier. It's not ordered. Alright, only the classes are ordered. Alright, Power Flower is really good though. Really good chain damage. Shadow Flower is also going to be going in the S tier. Shadow Flower is a clone of the Reg Sunflower, except has a faster fire rate. But they have pretty much like the same, almost the same DPS. Shadow Flower has a worse reload than Reg Flower, and she runs out of her clip faster, so you might want to run the reload upgrade on Shadow Flower. But Shadow Flower is crazy. This character is so good. Another clone character of Shadow Flower is the Stuffy Flower. These are like the same exact character. They have like the same fire rate, but I think Stuffy Flower does more DPS, so Stuffy Flower is better. Stuffy Flower also has the little healing things that pop out of the people you kill, which can be useful to stop like fire damage and stuff. Mystic Flower is the best Sunflower by far. This character does so much damage. One of the best mech counters in the entire game. One of the best superhero counters in the entire game. So much damage. So broken. Use the uncharged shots, trust me. Just spam the uncharged shots. They do so much damage for no reason. Metal Petal, A tier. Again, I can't put any Sunflowers below B tier. And I can tell you why. If you think a Sunflower belongs in a tier with Park Ranger, Captain Squawk, also I put Reg Rose way too low. You're going in A tier. If you think Power Flower or Metal Petal belong in a tier with like Chompers and Captain Squawk, you're just wrong. Learn to play the character better. Metal Petal has a ton of health, has bad drop off, and has less damage than Reg Sunflower, but has more health. Doesn't make up for it. It could be useful. If you have a lot of health with the self-heal gimmick combined, it's kind of insane. It's broken. This is one of my favorite characters in the entire game, Metal Petal. But really good, just kind of nerfed compared to the regular Sunflower though. Sunpharaoh is also going to be put in the S tier. Again, another really slept on character. Character has really good kill times, really good damage. But it's still just worse than all these other OP Sunflowers. These 4 ones, 1, 2, 3, 4. But Sunpharaoh is still a really broken character. Has all the strength that Sunflowers have. Alien Flower is our next character. That's going to go in A tier. Actually, might be B tier. Alien Flower might be B tier. I don't know. I'm going to stick with A tier. I'm going to put them down here. Sunflowers are going to go down here because I'm putting them at the bottom up here, so I'm going to put them at the bottom here. Alien Flower might be better than Metal Petal. I don't know. You could kind of flip these all around. Alien Flower still does a lot of damage. It's the best cloud character. There's 3 cloud characters: Park Ranger, Toxitron, and Alien Flower. Alien Flower is definitely the best one out of all 3 of them. But other than that, Alien Flower is kind of... the character's still good. Self-heal. I just think Sunflowers are good. There's nothing else really to say. Vampire Flower. Vampire Flower has a really good fire rate, and the self-heal thing is like kind of useful, but like really low health, which kind of sucks. Really, really low health, really easy to kill. So it might be B tier, honestly. I think Vampire Flower is like one of the, like, just the character's so close to being A tier because the character does have good damage and does have a good fire rate, but the character is so weak. The character, you could flick Vampire Flower and Vampire will snap in half and die. Vampire Flower is just doesn't have enough health that I think makes her as good as the other sunflowers, but she's still a good character. Don't get me wrong. She's still a good character, but I think she's the worst out of all of them. That might be biased, but I don't think she's very good. Let's talk about Hovergoat and Torchwood next. Let's put Torchwood in A tier. Character has really good abilities, like Smoldering Madness. Oh, Smoldering Madness is so stupid. It's so broken. And then Leaf Shield is also really good. Leaf Shield is just so dumb. And then Blazing Blast is still a good ability, but like it's kind of overhyped in my opinion. You could easily see it coming. Why are you going in a Torchwood's face? Like what are you doing? You shouldn't be getting hit by that. Like I get hit by it sometimes, but like you could just not go in a Torchwood's face. Don't let a Torchwood sneak up onto you and use that. Smoldering Madness is the best Torchwood ability. But Torchwood has a ton of health, but is a really big target, but the abilities make up for it. Hovergoat, I also think, is either an A or an S tier. I'm going to put him in S tier, honestly. Actually, is he S tier? Yeah, he's S tier. He's S tier. He's so good. He has really good abilities. He's so hard to hit. He has really good movement, but his vertical mobility is bad. But I think he's so underrated. His primary is really good. I cook with him. I mean, he might be A tier. Let's just be safe and put him in A tier. He doesn't really have anything busted like these characters have. But like, man, Hovergoat is fun. He's so fun. He's a really good character. I really like Hovergoat. But really good pick. He's very honest as a character. He doesn't really have a lot of gimmicks. Alright, let's talk about cacti next. I love cacti. Regular cactus might be my favorite plant to play as. I love playing as cacti. They're so fun. The whole class, they're all so unique. Have decent abilities too, believe it or not. This has bad mobility. That's the only problem with cacti, but like, who cares? You're going to be standing still with this guy anyway. Not really, though. Don't stand still with the cacti. I think regular cactus belongs in S tier. This character is so good. Does so much damage. Huge ammo clip. Amazing reload. Can destroy anything instantly at any range. Good up close. Good far away. Red cactus is busted. Absolutely busted. Fire cactus I also think is S tier. Dude, fire cactus is like a slightly nerfed regular cactus, but still is insane. This character is so good. Fire cactus is so good, especially up close. Broken. So broken. Ice cactus is going to be going in... Sorry, I gotta put ice cactus in B tier. Character doesn't do enough damage, but ice cactus is still a fantastic counter to superheroes and all-stars, and this is a really good character in one-on-ones. You could easily just target someone with this character and they're gonna have a hard time because the character's freeze time is really good. But if you have good aim, you could kill someone quicker with regular cactus or fire cactus. So yeah, sorry, ice cactus, but you're going in B tier. Electric cactus is going in S tier as well. Electric cactus has a faster fire rate than regular cactus, does less damage at range, but still is really good with group control, similar to Power Flower, wherever little Power Flower is. Similar chain damage to Power Flower. Really, really good character for the electric archetype. You could just shoot one like big health character and it'll kill everything around them. But yeah, E-Cactus, really underrated and good. E-Cactus is a fantastic character. Alright, we haven't touched this tier in a while, but Future Cactus is our next SS tier. Future Cactus has one of the best primaries in the entire game. If not the best primary, it's definitely a top 5 primary in the game. If Cactus had a mobility option, Cactus would be the best character in the game. Cactus would be up here. But fortunately, Cactuses don't have that. But Future Cactus can one-shot like a lot of the classes in the game. So much damage. The uncharged shots also are broken. This character is just ridiculous, really overtuned. Camo Cactus is also going to be an S tier. Does more damage per shot than regular Cactus, but I think regular Cactus is just an upgraded version of the Camo Cactus. I'm not gonna lie, but Camo Cactus is still a fantastic character, really, really good. Bandit Cactus is also an S tier character. You might be thinking I'm being very generous with these tiers. It's because all these characters are good. They're good characters. Bandit Cactus has the same DPS as Red Cactus, and people don't play this character properly. Character has perfect accuracy, it's just the reticle looks weird. Character does so much damage per shot and just is a good character. Bandit Cactus is good. Jade Cactus is going to go in B tier though. The character does have extra health, which is nice, but the character's damage is bad. But still is good because perfect accuracy is insane, and you know, cacti aren't very bad. Like, they're not bad, they're still playable. So Jade Cactus is going here. It's just a nerfed version of the regular Cactus in my opinion. And then Zen Cactus is pretty much a clone character of Camo Cactus in my opinion. They're like the same character. I know their gimmicks are completely different, but like at the end of the day, if you really think about it, the Zen Cactus is like really, really similar to the Camo Cactus. Petrified Cactus is like literally Captain Cannon on plants. No one plays Petrified Cactus for some reason, but like this character is so good. This character does so much damage per shot, and it's so easy to hit deaths with this character. Counters so many of the zombies. Like, this character is really good. Also, I'm gonna reorder these tiers at the end because I think we need to put more in the SS tier. Anyway, our next class is the Scientist class. Scientists are really, really good. Dominate you up close, so they're insane. We're gonna put the first regular Scientist in A tier. Character does 77 damage per shot. Has, you know, his fire rate is kind of bad, but like he could two-shot corns. You know, he's really good. The Reg Scientist is fantastic. Marine Biologist is similar to the Reg Scientist. He just has a faster fire rate, but he's still broken up close. Really good. Dr. Toxic is a slightly nerfed version of regular Scientist. He does less damage, but he does have a faster fire rate, which does mean he is better at range than regular Scientist, but I think his damage is just not enough. He's still a good character, though. Physicist is basically, he feels like a clone character of Reg Scientist. His chain damage is like non-existent, it doesn't matter, but he still has a faster fire rate than Reg Scientist. He might be better, he might be worse, I don't know. Depends on the scenario, but Physicist is really good. Really good character, similar to the Reg Scientist. Astronaut is our next SS tier. Astronaut might be the best zombie in the game. He might be better than Z7, honestly. Character can self-heal, so he's immune to fire damage, immune to jinx, blah blah blah. Good at all ranges, has fantastic mobility with heal bomb and warp if you know how to use it. He feels almost uncounterable sometimes. But yeah, he's so good. He's so good. He has like not really any weaknesses, I feel like. Chemist is gonna be going in the B tier. He is a bad he has scientist strengths, like, you know, he could heal himself and he has good ways to sneak up on people, but like no range, really, really sucks. He has really good group control. I'm trying to give him some positives. He has good group control. You know, he has good kill times, I suppose. You know, he has decent damage. You're not going to miss with him, but he's very consistent, but like there's not really much you could do with him. His skill ceiling is very low. He feels like a baby version of Reg Scientist and Physicist. Like, if you suck at the game, Chemist will feel like the most broken thing ever. And I would know, because when I first started playing this game, this was my main. Chemist was my main character. I was that bad at the game. I loved playing as Chemist. But then I switched to maining regular Scientist. But now I think my mains are Deadbeard and Red Cactus. But anyway. Archaeologist is next. Archaeologist, pretty good. He's just good. Like, this word perfectly describes him. He's good. He has, honestly, he might be in A tier. He's pretty good. He's pretty decent up close, and he's also pretty good from far away. He feels like if astronaut and regular scientist were like mixed together. But you know, he's good. He's just a decent character. There's not really much to say about him. All right, we got a big one next. Paleontologist. I think this character is insane. I think being able to heal he's similar to astronaut. Being able to heal yourself and snipe people from any range makes a character broken. Character doesn't. You don't have to aim with him. Like people can be hiding behind a wall and you could shoot them with a splash, and you could chip them off with fire damage. Fire characters are so annoying but good. Paleontologist is no exception to that. Paleontologist is cracked. Really, really good character. Zoologist, I'm gonna put him in the A tier. Zoologist is like chemist, except he does more damage. He doesn't have as good group control, but I think the extra damage makes him better. He feels kind of similar to Rhodey Z, I suppose, except less DPS, but you still get that consistent damage output. He feels like a nerfed marine biologist kind of, but like marine biologist is broken, and the zoologist is good too, so he's like A tier. Computer scientist, I'm gonna put computer scientist in the A tier as well. Honestly, I'm gonna put him in S tier. Why? No, not just because of his legendary mode. Outside of his legendary mode, he has a very fast fire rate. He's decent at range. He has one of the best reloads in the entire game. And he's just really, really good. Character is so good. Also, since you could heal yourself, it makes the legendary mode so easy to get. Since you're not going to die, and you could just keep the streak going. And when you get your legendary mode, the damage reduction on a scientist is insane. You could just kill everyone. He kind of feels similar to Toxic Brains when you get legendary meter. Alright guys, I forgot. I noticed I forgot to rank Cosmic Brains. So we're going to be doing that at the end. The next class we're going to be ranking is the All-Star class. All-Stars are good. They have a lot of health and a really good ability set, but they don't have very good mobility other than sprint tackle. But they're still really good. They have really good abilities. So we're going to be talking about regular All-Star first. Regular All-Star is going to go in our S tier on this tier list. Regular All-Star has insane damage, really good up close, decent from range, but he does have a slow projectile speed. But other than that, like, character's really good. He does so much damage. Cricket Star, I'm going to be putting in the A tier. This character he does fire damage and has a fast fire rate, so he's kind of similar to like the barbecue corn or Fireflower, who's somewhere around here. Fireflower, except he has brain dead abilities, like all the other All-Stars do. But Cricket Star, fire damage is broken, so, and on a fast fire rate character especially, so that means he can be played at any range, which is broken. Just pretty good. Goalie Star, I'm gonna be putting in B tier. You know, he's really good up close. He could shoot for a really long time. But I do think his damage is not enough. I think faster kill times is what makes an All-Star better. But his ice pairs really, really well with the ice effect. So he might be an A tier. Pretty good. Baseball Star, I'm going to be putting in the S tier. This character is insane. He does 100 DPS. He's like, you get up close to him, you're dead. He has like, it feels like he has infinite ammo because his overheat's like non-existent. Just a really good character. I have the world record with this character, by the way. I have like 140 solo. Hockey Star is the best All-Star by far, in my opinion. Hockey Star is just insane. Character is good at all ranges, has the fastest fire rate in the game. Really good damage. Again, his All-Star abilities and stuff. But like, he has the one thing that Reg All-Star doesn't: range. Like, Reg All-Star can be used at range, but like Hockey Star is like just actually good at range. You could snipe with him. Rugby Star is gonna go in the A tier. Character's pretty good. This character is pretty good at range, especially. He's not that bad at range. He's like probably the second best one at range, maybe. But he's a really good character. But I don't think
his overheat is pretty bad, and his time to kill can be bad, so he's not in S tier with the broken all-stars, but he's still a fantastic character. We're going to be putting the wrestling star here next. People really like to crap on this character for some reason. You're not playing him correctly then, because up close, his damage is not bad at all. Like, not bad at all. Character's pretty good. Golf Star feels like a nerfed version of Hockey Star, but he's still fantastic, so we're going to be putting him up there. Next character is going to be the Motocross Star. He's going to go in A tier. Motocross Star has fantastic movement, which pairs really well with the All-Star abilities. He has really good speed, and his primary is actually pretty good. It disables abilities really quickly, which is good. He feels like an upgraded version of Goalie Star, which is really silly, but he does. Tennis Star, I'm going to be putting in A tier. Tennis Star is really good. He has really good DPS, actually. Really fun. I've been playing this character quite a bit recently. His extra speed when he shoots is so useful, by the way, I must say. And his abilities with the extra speed pairs really well, too. Other than that, there's not really much else to say about Tennis Star. He's just a fantastic character. And then I forgot to rank Cosmic Brains before, but I think Cosmic Brains also goes in the A tier. He does what Breakfast Brains can't. He has a similar like charge mechanic to Breakfast Brains, except his is consistent because you could use it in the air if you know how to do that. He has way better and more consistent kill times than Breakfast Brains. He's really good for one-on-one scenarios compared to Breakfast Brains. Yeah, Cosmic Brains is a really good character. His beam is really good. Not as good as the other Brains is, but like up close, his beam is really good. But yeah, Cosmic Brains belongs in A tier. Alright, I'm going to reorder this real quick. So I'm just going to cut it to where I reorder it. Alright, so I rearranged a couple things. I added a lot more to my SS tier because when you really think about it, these characters in this SS tier are just better than the characters in the S tier. If you're trying to kill everyone, you're going to choose Astronaut, or Shrimp Mech, or Party Corn, or Mechanic, or Hockey Star, or Reg Deadbeard, or any of these 4 really good Sunflowers. Like, these are the characters you're going to be picking instead of like Sunfarrow or Fireflower. Like, yes, these characters in here are really good. Toxic Brains is not as good as in a lot of lobbies, or Rody Z is not very good in some lobbies. But like, all these characters in SS tier are broken in like almost every single scenario. SSS tier, broken in every scenario, unless you get outplayed or you get stunned. That's the only weakness to these SS tier characters is a stun. Otherwise, they're uncounterable. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good tier list. I also moved Goalie Star and Wrestling Star down to B tier. Again, bad at range for Wrestling Star. And then Goalie Star, I think his damage is just kind of like mediocre. And then I put Vampire Flower in A tier. I thought Sunflowers are that good. They belong up here a little bit more. But I'm pretty happy with this tier list. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks again for 14,000 subscribers. That really means a lot. And yeah, take care, guys.